여러분 안녕하세요. 지니 선생님입니다. Today we're going to talk about Korean verbs. Of course, verb is one of the 9 parts of speech in the Korean language, and we know that the verb comes last in a Korean sentence. 나는 학교 가요. 선생님 커피 마셔요. 엄마 뭘 가요. Then let's take a look at the following sentences. 나는 심심해요. 친구 예뻐요. 폴 똑똑해요. When you say I am bored in English, what is the part of speech of the word bored? What about pretty and smart? In English, those words bored, pretty, and smart are adjectives. However, to align with the fact that a verb comes last in the Korean language, we're going to categorize those adjectives as descriptive verbs. Some Korean books say these are still adjectives, while some books call them descriptive verbs. We are going to call them descriptive verbs. It's important to know whether the given verb is a descriptive verb or another verb, which is an action verb, because when we conjugate verbs, oftentimes we have to conjugate them differently depending on the type of the verbs. So, 먹다, 가다, 오다, 일어나다, and 놀다 are all action verbs, while 기분이 좋다, 행복하다, 예쁘다, and 기쁘다 are descriptive verbs. And those descriptive verbs require a subject, not an object. Therefore, remember that there are 2 kinds of verbs, descriptive verbs and action verbs. Then now let's take a look at the verbs 전화하다, 말하다, 공부하다, 이해하다, 사랑하다. Do you see a pattern in each verb? I'm sure you found the pattern. Each verb ends with 하다. The verb ending with 하다 is called 하다 verb. The 하다 verb in fact consists of 2 words. We can separate 하다 and the one in front. 전화하다, for example, becomes 전화 plus 하다. And the word in front of 하다 is a noun, and it's an object of the verb 하다. In other words, 하다 is the actual verb. It is important to see that oftentimes people separate them, especially placing the adverb in front of the verb 하다. For example, using an adverb 많이, which means a lot, you can say 전화 많이 하다. As an adverb modifies a verb, its best placed in a sentence is in front of the verb. Therefore, when you use a 하다 verb and an adverb, place the adverb in front of the verb 하다. You will see the same pattern when you make a negation using 안 and 못. 폴 공부하다. But if Paul is not doing well academically, you can use 못 and put it in front of 하다. So it becomes 폴 공부 못하다. There are a few exceptions though. The verb 좋아하다, 심심하다, and 행복하다 have 하다, and they are 하다 verbs, but they are used as any other verbs. That means you do not separate 좋아 and 하다, or 심심 and 하다. To summarize today's lesson, remember the 2 kinds of verbs, descriptive verbs and action verbs. You can give examples of each one, right? The next one is to know the nature of 하다 verbs. Any verb ending with 하다 is called 하다 verbs, and it can be separated into 2. Noun in front of 하다 and 하다. That way, you can put an adverb in between if needed. 다음에 만나요.